joining me. I'm Scott, and today I'd like you to join me in the neck reset of an Epiphone casino. Now, it doesn't say Epiphone casino, and there are no tags inside of the guitar. But I own a casino, and this is a casino. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. It's probably a Korean or Japanese casino, if that's such a thing, from the 80s, because I'll show you why I think that. But anyways, we're going to start taking this neck off. So stick around, we're going to have a good old time. So he sent me a picture of the guitar beforehand because he thought it was Gibson, and it had a truss rod cover that said custom on it. But as you know, Gibson doesn't have a 5mm hex wrench truss rod adjustment down underneath the nut. Gibson has a acorn nut out here in this area, and a Gibson has 2 holes for the truss rod cover, not 3 like an Epiphone. So even though it was custom ordered without the Epiphone logo. Another very odd thing here is that someone's already started to cut through this joint with a saw, a really fine saw, like a really fine Japanese saw. There's about a 18 thousandths of an inch saw curve right here. Anyways, the new trick for taking the neck off one of these bad boys is to run electric heat probes a 1/4 inch in from the edge, right down in between the heel and the body, in these 2 spots, and then another set of heaters somewhere down around here, also a 1/4 inch in. And then on the back side, drill this whole big old thing out for the StewMac heat stick. So we'll have quad heaters going all at once. That should be enough to get it loose. Here we can see the tenon. I have my flashlight here on my phone, but this is our tenon right here. So we need to get all this loose. Hopefully, luckily, I don't see a lot of glue. Now, we're out in the garage. I just have a nice little setup here for this. I like to, have the guitar upright because I feel like heat rises, right? Maybe heat rises. And also because this little deal that I got going over here, it's the StewMac Vice, and it has this little guitar body board, I think it's called, and it booms out, and I can move it wherever. And I can kind of wrap the cables up around it and then plug everything in over on the receptacles over there in the wall. So it's kind of convenient little setup here. I just let it sit. So let's see what's going on back here. It's kind of dark, but you get the one heat stick, the StewMac soldering iron heat stick in the back, and then the hot wire foam cutter heaters in the front. Probably let it sit for 15-20 minutes, and I'll pop the neck into the vise up there and then give the body a wiggle. So another reason I like this setup out here is I can kind of leave those heaters dangling there as I put the guitar up. And I'm going to drip some boiling hot water down in those holes. It's getting loose around the neck joint here, fingerboard extension. I can see water coming down in here into the tenon also. It's pretty loose actually. Oh man, it's coming off. First try. I think. It's really loose. Anyways, I could heat it for a while more, I guess, but seems to be coming off. Maybe I'll heat it for a minute more. It's pretty hot. Hopefully I'll get the moment that it comes loose for you. But, like, I've never seen anybody take the neck off of a 335 or a Casino. Not in my short time on this earth. I gotta take a picture. Yeah, she's coming off. I didn't even need to use the StewMac neck removal jig. Just give her a pull. Ooh, the steam too. It's steaming. There we go, guys. I was very pleased with that. Oh, it felt like there was a little pocket down there, like. And look at this glue is that alphatic resin glue. It's kind of gooey, like snotty, and it's kind of rubbery. There she blows! So get you a pipette, some 200-degree water, 5 heaters, drill a bunch of holes, start wiggling. Comes right off every time. So this is the parlor. It's kind of like the dining room, but this is where when people come over to bring their guitars, they come in this room, and we have lots of storage for guitars. We got a couple amps. We got some tunes. Little storage for guitars here on the wall. Got one of those 3 guitar Hercules hangers. There's a guitar I might do a video on. It's an old Playtime. I'm going to be taking the back off that one. But Well, this is the recovery room today for the poor old casino. I'm going to take a conservative 0.5 millimeter off this heel, which is kind of where it already was. I'm having second thoughts on whether this little cutaway here was from a saw curve, because this is not wood. This is like wood putty. So, and this is where it looked like the saw curve ended. So I think what happened is at the factory they used some filler, and then at some point someone kind of picked it out and they got to a certain point and they stopped. So I'm just going to remove a bit of this putty stuff. Let's see what we got as far as wood goes. Who knows with these things? I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. We do want to do a little undercutting. Because if I do some sandpaper pulls at the end, just to make sure all the parts fit together nice, I want to make sure I don't have a lot of excess wood in this area. So I really like this Total Vise number 7. It's my favorite. When I flip it around to the other side, I'll show you here in a second, I can activate this one tilt. Oop. See, it's not even tight right now. Usually, I forgot to tighten it. Anyways, you can tilt it, lock it in place. I didn't even have it tightened down. It's got a little lever right here. It's pretty cool. There's that tilting action I was talking about. I'll lock it in. It'll work on this area. If the wood starts looking punky, like it's getting mashed, I can pour some thin super glue onto it, and that will wick into this end grain right here. It's kind of a good idea. I put a little 80 grit sandpaper on a piece of Lexan. Give it 20 swipes on each side. You can really see that filler on the body here. I have a feeling now that I've seen it all. Someone went in and used this filler to kind of clean up some sloppy work. And it's just a light wood putty. But they did it before it went into the finishing section of the factory. So maybe just getting all this filler out of the way and cleaning things up, and glue that neck back in and it'll be right. I gotta strap this body in. This is dangerous work. Okay, I got her strapped in now. Look at all this glue. See, the reason I put them heaters in at that fret, through that first little hole in that fret, was to hit this area where this glue was. I wasn't sure there was glue there, but now sandpaper again. Okay, so what I've done here is I've stacked 3 veneers. I glued them together and stacked them and put them down here under the tenon. And then I put 1 clamp here to hold the neck down. The shims keep the neck from tilting this way with string tension because it's pushing up on this area. It keeps it pressed against tightly over here. And with these strings, I haven't really tensioned them all the way up, but I put the saddle at the height where I kind of eyeballed it where I want it. Not too high. And what I'm seeing is about 3/64 string action at the 12th fret. And I think once all the tension comes in and the neck has a little extra relief than it has now, we're going to have our action at 4/64, which is where I want it. So there was this little bit of filler that is missing now that I need to account for before I glue the neck back together. That little gap. I'm going to put some feeler gauges and measure it. It's probably about 20 thousandths. And then I'll make a little veneer shim, a wedge, and glue it on there and color it first before I glue the neck. So I glued all these little shims on here. Sorry for the disorientation, it's up kind of upside down. But this big shim, I tapered it ahead of time because it's kind of a thick, solid maple piece. Kind of like a Stumac neck shim. And then these 3 little ones, I just super glued them on while it's still in this kind of upside down position. I'm going to get a head start on the taper with a chisel here. And then I'll use a little sandpaper. Well, I ended up putting those 11 through 52 strings on her, and the neck seems like it has a bit of relief. Probably needs a little more setting up. But anyways... Thanks for sticking around to the end, and if you want to see a little more of these finish repairs that I did around the neck heel, stick around while the music plays, and we'll catch you later.